Welcome back to Third Win Thursdays. It is March 30th, 2023. This is episode number 2. I'm joined by Eric and John once again, TWG partners. How you boys doing?
It's a great time of year.
Look, you can see the black and orange is coming on real strong today. That's because it's opening day, folks. One of the best days of the year.
Well, I'd like to preface this by saying I'm a Red Sox fan, so I'm going against you guys today. But
Scott, we need you to leave the room right now.
Hey, look, hold on. At TWG, we talk about collaborating, and this is prime collaboration in action here. We work with Red Sox fans, Bengals fans. We don't hold it against people.
It's partners until the start of the game.
Yeah, there we go.
Fair enough. Red Sox were in the basement last year, so just saying.
World Series hopefuls this year. I'm kidding. Well, we'll see. But anyways, I'd like to start this off by asking you how you're feeling about March Madness.
Well, let me say this. My bracket is absolutely destroyed. One of the worst in our group. But Scott, yes. And I brought the receipts. I did call an unusual amount of madness this year. Can you pull up the tape, Scott?
1 second.
Is he have the actual evidence that
I brought receipts, everybody?
You can talk about it first.
The day before the tournament, I put out a post. I said, "Are there any good teams this year? Like, I expect more madness than usual. Expect upsets galore, et cetera, et cetera." And what happened, Scott? What happened, Scott?
Where is it, Scott?
This is not right. It. Oh, there we go. There we go. I think I nailed it, guys. I may have the worst bracket in the group, except for Eric, but yeah. I think I nailed the overall vibe of the tournament.
Yeah, I would agree.
But, we had 0 1 seeds in the Elite Eight, and we have freaking FAU in the Final Four. So.
Yep.
I will like to say my bracket is above both of you guys, so I don't know. It's still at the bottom, but it's better than both of you guys.
Not in the basement like mine is.
All right,
so I'm looking forward to a South Florida Classic for a national championship. Miami FAU, Coral Gables versus Boca Raton. That'd be pretty hype. I'd be here for it.
Jim Larinaga, the former coach at George Mason, a DMV legend, now coaching at Miami, and that would be pretty awesome for him to win a national championship. You know what, though? I'm gonna go with UConn. I got UConn. I guess I'll get UConn over San Diego State because UConn's been steamrolling people all tournament long. I know they're the favorite at this point, but look, they're the favorite for a reason.
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, I'm going against my earlier vibe. Now my vibe is UConn is going to steamroll to yet another national championship up in Storrs, Connecticut. What about you,
Scott? Since we're not showing FAU any love, I'll go with them.
There you go.
Cinderella goes all the way. I like it, Scott. I like it. Who are they playing against in your final?
In my final, I think UConn. I'm not gonna lie, but I think they'll pull an upset out of the back, and then we'll see some crazy scenes.
Scott, you're probably an FAU fan because there's a lot of international students at FAU, and for those that don't know much about Scott, he is Mr. International, so I think he's got that connection with him.
Well. John is putting me in the hot seat later, so
there we go. I will say,
get to know you.
There we go. On the women's side, we're going full LSU. I won't let anyone say anything different. We're going ride or die with Angel Reese, Baltimore legend. She's going to bring home the championship. So make sure if anyone says anything differently, you correct them. LSU on the women's side.
Wow. Okay. Well, then I guess I have to take the favorite over there too, South Carolina.
Go ahead.
That matchup, the South Carolina-Iowa matchup, maybe one of the biggest Final Four matchups in women's college basketball history. So everybody stay tuned for that. And before we dive into the rest of the show, we're making picks. We're throwing takes out. It's opening day, gentlemen. Who do you have winning the World Series this year, and who are they going to beat? Hope you guys did your research before the show today.
Ooh. Well, this honestly feels like a good time. I'm going to divert the question and just tell everybody about the Orioles plan and make sure that everyone's on the timeline real quick.
You're not answering the question, but I'll allow it.
We will allow it because we're going to make the playoffs this year, probably wild card. We're going to lose early, though. We're going to learn a lot. 2024, we're winning the AL East. Yankees, Red Sox fans, sit down. We're gonna face some challenges in the playoffs, though. 2025, though, I don't care who we're playing. Baltimore Orioles World Series champions. You heard it here first, people. So I don't really care. I don't care who wins this year, and I don't care who wins next year. All I know is 2025. My timeline is set.
Eric's been talking about this 2025 World Series for Baltimore since I met him in 2019, 2020. So yeah, everyone bear with us here. The guy really doesn't care about baseball other than the Orioles, so that's fine. Scott, do you have picks, or am I the only one who's going to make picks for the World Series?
I mean, I'll give you a pick, and it's because I just can't go again my Boston fan base. So I'm going to just say the Red Sox.
Go ahead.
But
man.
We're going to have to pull up some FAU upsets all along the way. So, hey, I'm feeling underdog energy today.
I like it.
Hey, underdogs can also win. So we're on that wave.
I'm clearly the only one who came prepared to make picks.
What's your scouting report? Let's see it, John.
Listen,
hey, you're Mr. Baseball, John.
Listen,
this is all you.
This is going to be the San Diego Padres year. All right. They have the most star power. They're all in. They're more than all in. They went all in, and then they went all in again by trading for Juan Soto, re-signing Manny Machado. Eric, you've got to still have a soft spot for Manny Machado.
I'm completely on the same page as you because in my timeline, Manny wins his World Series, and then he brings that experience back home to Baltimore.
How? He just got re-signed. He's going
to opt out in 25. It's all right. He's going to opt out.
All right, you clearly all right, Eric. You're living in a fantasy world. The Padres are going to beat the Blue Jays in this year's electrifying World Series.
I do
some of the best young talent from Toronto, some of the best talent in baseball from the San Diego Padres. We got great pitching on both sides. We got depth. We got defense. And with the rule changes, gentlemen. The rule changes are going to be pretty exciting as well with the pitch clock. Imagine the pitch clock in the Game 7 of the World Series. That will be insane. But anyway, I've got the Padres. They're going all the way this year, and they're gonna beat a very not even scrappy, a very powerful Toronto Blue Jays club that is gonna mash its way through the American League.
On the pitch clock side of things, there was a video circulating of this 20-second strikeout. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was during spring training. So it'll be interesting to see how teams strategize around that as well.
And also, it was here's a full third of an inning going by in 2 minutes, and here's one pitch being thrown in a playoff game. So anyway, enough baseball talk. We got to get to the rest of the show here. And as we talked about last week, it's time for us to get to know our co-host here, Mr. Scott Hibbard. Now, he put us on a hot seat last week with a little game of 20 questions. We are now putting him on the hot seat with a game of 20 questions. So, Scott, are you ready?
We'll see.
All right. We'll finally find out a few details about Scott here. So let's start here, Scott. What's your role with TWG?
So I'm an operations associate, but kind of jack of all trades every once in a while, but mostly looking at our internal processes, the type of tools and resources we use for other associates and that both you and Eric use as well. And then a lot of focus on special projects that could potentially bring value to the rest of our associates as well.
Beautiful. All right. Give me a little more rapid fire, Scott, and we'll get rolling here. If you had to choose a different profession, what would you choose? If you weren't, let's just say you weren't working with TWG, what would you be doing?
Geez, event coordinator, but international events. So thinking World Cup, Olympics, et cetera, trying to bounce around as much as possible.
The Champions League.
So you're a sports guy through and through.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Beautiful. All right. What's your favorite part of working with TWG?
Favorite part of working with TWG is probably working with you guys. And I mean, I really appreciate also the freedom you guys give to take initiative. So there's that side.
He's not buttering up his bosses at all, folks. Not at all.
Amen.
All right. Now to the fun stuff, personal background. Scott, where were you born?
Ecuador. I'm from Quito, Ecuador. Lived there most of my life. And yeah, that's where home is and always will be. So despite the international travel, those are the roots.
Right on. All right. So tell us where you're living now and why.
I am currently in Leeds, in the UK, doing an exchange semester as I wrap up my degree. So yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Scott, tell us the last time you go to GW University, right? Tell us the last time you were like a student on campus or near campus at like living at GW.
May of last year. Yes, that was it.
For just like a hot second, right? And then you were like, all right, I'm out of here.
Exactly.
It was
I did 1 year at GW on like in person, going to class on campus. But I'll be back senior year. So if anyone's around the DC area, feel free to say hi.
All right. All right. Now, Scott, what is your favorite food?
Ooh, sushi for sure.
Nice. What is your go-to sushi restaurant in DC?
I forget the name, but it's so good.
What neighborhood is it in?
It's okay. So Union Market.
Yep.
It's like right up on that street that is directly like headed towards Union Market. It starts with an O, I'm pretty sure. But you know what?
DC, come on, where's your answer, JB?
I'm not a sushi guy. Scott's the sushi guy.
Sure, you're right.
I'll have the name next time, so we could also throw out Restaurant Rex while we're at it.
There we go.
No free plugs though.
No.
True. You're gonna have to sponsor the show, honestly. All right, Scott. Are you a night owl or an early bird?
Depends on the day.
Well, considering you're 5-6 hours ahead of us,
mostly night owl.
We'll call you a night owl for today. All right. So, Scott, what is your favorite sports season?
Ooh, I would say soccer season, but that's pretty much year round. But the Champions League, and then I'm a big Premier League fan. So, yeah, those two for sure.
For those who follow us on Instagram, you probably saw a couple weeks ago, Scott had the privilege to rub it in our faces that he got a perfect seat at a Manchester United Europa League game. So it was cool to definitely live vicariously through him while he's over in England. But while we're at O's games, he can live through us, John.
Exactly.
True. You better get those tickets for next Thursday, Eric, if we're still doing that. All right. But back to Scott. Let's do one more. Who is your hero? And I will say who's your childhood hero, who is your current, could be a hero, could be someone you admire, look up to.
Can you guys hear me right now?
Yeah.
My hero. I would say it would have to be my dad, honestly. Yeah, he taught me everything I know, I guess, in a different type of way. Because I feel like the person ultimately determines the workhorse behind it. So I I'd like to give that answer. Copying Tom Brady, there's a Patriots fan in me, but I think there's some truth to it.
All right. All right. Shout out Mr. Hibbard. Now, let me ask you one more quick question. Why are you such a New England sports fan if you're from Quito, Ecuador?
All right, so my dad is from Maine, which, traditions carry down. So grew up watching the Patriots, the Red Sox, the Celtics. Although, remember that Celtics Heat series way back in the day? I kind of fell in love with the LeBron James Heat. So there's a soft spot for them sometimes when I see them get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So
I won't age all of us, but I'm wondering what ages we all were when LeBron made the decision.
Ooh. Oh man, I think I was in high school. No, I was in college.
Yeah, you were probably in college. I think I was in early high school. And Scott, oh my God,
I was
I was a baby.
Yeah, like pre-middle school. So
yeah. The Heatles were really something, though. All right, Scott, nice job. We're gonna let you get off the hot seat. However, I'm gonna hand it back over to you to go to our next segment, and let's keep this show on the road.
All right. So, as you guys saw from last week, we're going over some headlines, and the first one is about NWSL opening weekend, hitting some records, and some of the funding that has been going on behind all of this hype around not only the NWSL, but women's sports in general. So here you go.
Let's see what you got.
Let's see it.
National Women's Soccer League kicks off 2023 season with more than 90,000 fans. Week 1 attendance is up 48% as clubs begin quest for Shield Championship title. Ooh. I mean, Eric, what do we keep saying? Like, get buy your stock now, right?
Yep, literally, because it's growing. You're just seeing so many different opportunities, whether it's the new players coming in, people starting to share their stories and starting to really get more and more attraction and more audience. This is the Washington Spirit's first official season at Audi Field for all of their games. I think they brought in over like 11K to their game. Out in Seattle and every place they've got 30K and down in San Diego. It's a ridiculous amount of fans that are coming out. And again, if you build it, they will come. And the issue that's been in the past with women's sports in general has been, the lack of investment or the lack of opportunity. But you're being able to see, hey, where can I watch an NWSL game? Boom, I can turn it on here. If you're watching, I'll be interested to see what the viewership is on like television and streaming and everything. But again, getting fans' butts into seats, there's nothing better than that. We've seen that from a lot of different leagues, and it's cool to kind of see this bounce back from the NWSL.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, this is still a young league, a really young league, and the WNBA even is still a young league in comparison with the men's professional leagues, right? So what we're going to see is more investment, more talent, more sponsorship revenue, and really the revenue growth, will drive everything, right? It will drive further reinvestment. It will drive expansion teams. So we definitely see, this being one of those years where we're seeing like, wow, okay, the growth trajectory is really starting to pick up. So expect a great season from the NWSL this year. All right, Scott, what's next?
Let's keep it moving.
All right, so a little DMV action for you guys. Commander's sale.
I'm about to say, if this was Lamar Jackson, I'm hopping off this live stream right now.
Hey, I might bring that up at the end.
Too soon. All right, what's the headline?
We can talk about the Commanders.
All right. Oh, my God. This is near and dear to my heart, guys. Sources, 2 groups submit $6 billion bids for the Commanders. Now, it sounds like the number one bidder is this group led by Josh Harris, who runs Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment. They already own the Philadelphia 76ers, and they already own the New Jersey Devils. And they have part ownership in a Premier League club, which I don't.
Crystal Palace.
Okay. So this is massive. If as a Washington football fan for my entire life, literally, born a Redskins fan back in the day, this is massive. Like I may need to pop champagne when this sale goes through, because the current ownership led by Daniel Snyder arguably the worst owner in all of professional sports. And we've literally been in the wilderness as football fans for almost 25 years. And so, God, this will be a big deal when it finally goes through. Adam Schefter seems to think it will happen by or before the NFL draft, which is in about a month. So honestly, this couldn't come sooner. And then, we can start dreaming again as Washington football fans of like actual competence throughout the entire organization.
I'm kind of interested in what happens after the sale, because I feel like a part of Dan Snyder's mind is kind of like, well, if I sell this team, maybe everyone will just kind of not really care about me or any of the lawsuits coming after me, and maybe I'll get out of the news cycle. But I feel like even after he sells it, there's obviously, and rightfully so, going to be a lot of heat coming his way. And so I'm interested to see who buys. And, there's a lot of teams being sold around sports. And we were talking about this late last week, early this week, about I don't think there's ever been a time in our lifetime or in the history of sports that there have been this many teams for sale. And it'll be interesting to see the ramifications of what happens after this. Yeah. I will say one thing about the fact that the ownership group owns Crystal Palace. No slight against Crystal Palace, but it kind of makes sense that, an average team in the Premier League, and then they can buy a slightly below average team in the NFL. It fits their portfolio.
Eric, you're just trying to cope with the fact that Lamar is on his way out of Baltimore. That I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear any of that.
We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to talk about it.
But here's one more thing on the Commanders, Scott, real quick, is the next exciting thing is stadium. All right. So here's all like my checklist for the Commanders offseason was, all right, let's get rid of Snyder. All right. Check. Solidify the quarterback position. I think Sam Howell, Jacoby Brissett. Look, it's an upside play with Sam Howell, but finally a path to a new stadium in DC on the RFK Stadium site. That would be like perfection from a Commanders fan standpoint. All right, Scott, let's go to the next one.
All right. Well, actually, we're going to keep it with those two there.
Okay. All right.
That's our final topic for the day.
That way we can go on to our new segment.
Oh, let's go.
The third win. And
respect with that.
John, I'll let you give a little context to what that means.
All right. Yeah. So we're called Third Win Group, right? Now, why are we called Third Win Group? Well, because prior to starting the company, I wrote a book called 3-Win Sponsorship. All right. The whole basic concept is win-win-win, right? Anytime you're doing a deal in sports marketing and sponsorship, it's all about win-win-win, right? The third win is the most important win of all. All right. So who are these parties in any deal? It's, generally a sponsor, some type of property or individual. And then the third would be the customer / the community. And I consider the customer / the community, it's kind of the third leg of the stool here. But for sponsorship to work, for sports marketing to work, there's got to be value for the customer, for the community. And the whole concept behind TWG is that the third win is the most important win of all, right? Everybody's got to see that you care about them and their community, that you're adding value to their life. And so that's why we call the company Third Win Group. The third win is the most important win. So that's the context. And I think, Scott, the idea here was let's celebrate third wins all throughout the sports landscape, the sports business landscape.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of good work going on out there.
So with that being said, here's an LAFC partnership that just happened this week. And love to hear your thoughts.
Love it.
So LAFC partners with Cal Hope to promote resources for mental health and wellness. I love it. So what's Cal Hope, Scott? Is it a nonprofit organization?
Yeah, and they work with the Department of Health of California in providing mental health resources to the greater California community.
And the thing that's great about this too is that this is not like just a mental health awareness month partnership. This appears to be a year-round partnership. To me, it seems like mental health is kind of like been an underlying pandemic for many years in the country. So, sports and athletics, I think, has a big role to play, helping to normalize a conversation about mental health and well-being, help people figure out solutions. Right. I think that's where this partnership can come in. Let's talk about solutions. Let's not just talk about awareness. Let's talk about helping everybody. And it's great. Why not use the platform of sport to promote something that affects everybody? Everybody has mental health. Great job at LAFC and the folks over at Cal Hope. What do you got, Eric?
The biggest thing that sticks out to me here is, the words promoting resources. And I think something that we emphasize a lot at Third Wind Group is, when we create these partnerships where a client is working with some type of brand or organization that has something good going on, it's that awareness factor. LAFC is not coming out here to say like, look, we're partnering with mental health, like woohoo, we deserve an award. It's like, no, we're partnering with them to promote these resources, to promote the support services, to provide the right numbers to reach out to give people chances to share their stories. I think reading up on this, they mentioned how they're going to be doing like different types of content series. Again, whatever way someone might feel comfortable with getting comfortable with their own mental health. People reach different conclusions all different ways. And so I think this is a good way to reach out to the community and not necessarily just kind of, greenwash something that happens a lot in this kind of like, corporate social responsibility world. I think this is a good example of impact the right way, just like we try to do here at TWG.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, shout out to LAFC. I would anticipate, here's how you really bring it home in the TWG style is then you bring a sponsor in to come in, amplify that partnership. That would be how I would approach things. That's a great rundown. Scott, anything else for TWT this week?
That'll be all. But also, quick fact check. It's actually run by the California,
the Department of Healthcare Services or something.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a program focused on crisis counseling. And they mainly focused post-national disasters, but it seems like they're widening their scope. They also have Cal Hope schools. So, if you're in California as well, check them out. Maybe something interesting to look out for.
That's good.
But that is all for this week for Third Win Thursdays. Thank you guys for joining.
See you next.
It's always a pleasure to talk. Yeah. Next time we'll meet in April.
It was gonna be 3-0 or what? That would be 6-0 or so, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. Now I think we're getting pretty good at this, guys. Let's come back and do it again next Thursday.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Peace. Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right. Thank
you. Take care. Bye.